What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, getting into some organized confusion, y'all. Alright, Amir, so today for The Great Debaters, we're talking about Organized Confusion, our top 3 cuts on their debut album. It came out in 1991. But if you haven't already, please subscribe, like our channel, share the content, talk about it, be about it. If you have subscribed, please tell a friend. We're trying to get these subscription numbers up so we can get bigger and better for you guys. So please subscribe, like, share our content here on Unique Access Entertainment. And we're also on Cash App if you want to support us that way as well, Unique Access ENT. Now, Amir, Organized Confusion, the debut album came out in 1991, Hollywood Basic, incredible album. What were your initial thoughts getting used to hearing Monch and Prince Po?
So this album I got after I got Stress. I remember seeing Stress on YouTube, and I just the actual song Stress on YouTube, and then I bought that album, and then actually it wasn't until a couple years later that I picked this one up, and I think I had even heard Internal Affairs by Pharaoh before I picked this one up. So when I picked this one up, that being said, everything was pretty much brand new to me. I hadn't cheated and went on YouTube or nothing like that. All brand new for me. So when I first heard this, definitely the production was very different from Stress. But to get into one of my picks, I want to go into Prisoners of War. To me, I think Pharoah Monch, Prince Po do really well. There's a few concept tracks on this album, and I think Prisoners of War is one of the ones where they just do exceptionally well on. I think Pharoah Monch's flow from this album throughout his career up until today, he still releases music, by the way, so keep in tune with all of his music if you haven't. But I think all of the little phrases that they use, all of the metaphors, etc., how they're referencing war weapons or mentioning hydrogen bombs, Prince Po says. Pharoah Monch talks about other weapons. They talk about Glocks, Lugers, etc. Pharoah Monch even talks about, being blindfolded. He won't subdue to interrogation, etc. So they're really getting their flows off. They're getting everything off, but while doing that, they're incorporating war terminology, weapons, other things. I like the beat. The flows are great. I think this is just an awesome song and dope concept where Pharoah and Prince Po really tackle on. Prisoners of War, it has to be one of my top 3 tracks.
Well, there it is. That's not one of my top 3, but I think one of the great things that Organized Confusion does throughout his career is these great conceptual tracks where they look at different things, and we see this through Stress and through Equinox, of course. So, this is just a hallmark of what they do and what makes them, in my opinion, so special and distinctive, that they're able to take these conceptual things and really do them at a high level. So while that's not one of my favorites, top 3, I definitely appreciate it. My top 3 are all a little bit different, so I'm going to go with my first one, which is Fudge Pudge. I love it because this is, first of all, O.C.'s on there. Shout out to O.C. as always. Love his material. He's incredible. So I was excited because that's really the only guest on here. And even though it's the first real track on the project, it also just showed a new voice, something that I wasn't expecting, having heard Organized Confusion singles already. When I heard Fudge Pudge, I was like, oh man, who's this guy? He's incredible. And then, of course, OC's released a lot of incredible material over the years, and I've been fortunate to interview him on Unique Access multiple times. There's a link to one of them, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. But I really just like the fact that all 3 of them are going so nuts on this song with the styles, the stacking words, multiple rhymes, patterns, different things that we see them apply to the different conceptual songs. But on Fudge Pudge, it's just, one of those chest-thumping, braggadocio lyrical gymnastic exercises that I really enjoy. And of course, I really think the beat on there is awesome too. So that song just always makes me smile, as I am right now just talking about it, because I think it's a great one. And even though I gravitate typically more toward conceptual songs, this is one of those songs also that, even though it's just bragging, I enjoy hearing. Like Pharoah Monch, you don't often hear him talking about like sexual stuff, so it's just kind of cool that that's a little bit different from what he really focuses on, generally speaking. So just cool stuff, man. I really love Fudge Fudge. So what's your second pick, Amir?
So one of my picks is Fudge Fudge, so I'll just go ahead and talk about it.
Alright.
And yeah, like you said, Pharoah Monch doesn't talk about too many, he doesn't have so much sexual references in his lyrics, but in this one I believe he references 8 inches. Just like, that caught me off guard, because like I said, I'd heard other music before this one.
Right.
For this album. But I was very happy, like you said, that we heard a new voice. We heard O.C. And was that his first appearance on a song?
First time I ever heard him, so to me.
So yeah, I mean, O.C. just really, 1991, Word Life came out in 1994, so this was pretty early on. And O.C., like Soren said, has so much great music, and he still puts out music. Shout out to O.C. But Fudge Fudge, like Soren also said, in terms of like conceptual tracks, it's not really that. They're just kind of flowing, showing off their skills. It's track 2 on the album. The Fudge Funk was track 1. So definitely was dope to hear that. I like the beat, like the piano going on in there. And yeah, this was a fun track. And also, I like to know how, I'm not sure, maybe Soren knows, I don't know how O.C. even got on this song, or how it even came about, but that's just awesome how it's one of O.C.'s earliest appearances, if not his earliest, and then he's on track 2 of Organized Confusion's debut. That's just dope to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's friends with them coming up and stuff, which obviously helps to get on their material. Now, for my second pick, I'm going to go with Releasing Hypnotical Gases, because that song is one of those conceptual songs that takes things to a whole different dimension. And in 1991, to be thinking about the future, and they talk about how in 2010 everybody's going to be exposed to global warming and all this other stuff, they're really examining things on a scientific level and going through these different things. The beat changes, it's a long song, there's all this different type of apocalyptic / scientific / supreme lyricism going on, and they're referring to bleach by its chemical name, and it's just, the whole thing about it is just remarkable. And to make it into this amazing song that's traveling through, I think, like 5 + 6 minutes is remarkable, because to be able to have a type of song that is so atypical but then make it so lyrically mesmerizing, I think it's an amazing feat, and I really like it. And a lot of the themes and some of the things we see become prominent in a lot of Pharoah Monch's solo material, because he's talking about these apocalyptic things and the earth changing and these societies changing for the worse. And we see that on Pharoah Monch's new album that just came out in 2021, the 13 Project. It kind of is a somewhat of, to me, an evolution of this, and Pharoah Monch has, of course, touched on this throughout his solo career, but I think the 13 album, if you guys haven't listened to it and you like the type of music that Pharoah Monch does with war and desire and all these different things, it's really taking it up a notch. And shout to Daru Jones on the drums for that, man. The album it's pretty remarkable, and lyrically, Pharoah Monch, it just shows that from 91 up to 2021, man, this guy is astoundingly brilliant as a writer and with his concepts. So I would definitely highly recommend the 13 Project. And that's why Releasing Hypnotical Gases to me is so impressive, because they did that 30 years ago. And now all of a sudden, a lot of the stuff that they rapped about in that song is coming true. And that to me is part of what makes music so timeless, when you're able to realize it lasts 30 plus years. And Pharoah Monch was way ahead of the game, pointing out these different things scientifically. So that's my second pick. What's your third, Amir?
That one was fighting to get into the top 3, top 5 for sure. great track. Third pick is gonna be the Rough Side of Town. This is just a freaking dope song. I love when artists talk about where they're from, where they reside at, anything about their location, whether past, present. I just love hearing like the experiences that the artists have there, and it really puts you in that time capsule, because that part of where they were from is probably way different in 1991 than it is today. I'm sure a lot of things have changed, just from regular shops to food to restaurants, just to everything. I'm sure has changed. So whenever an artist is able to kind of put me in that place, especially since I'm not from New York, I've been there a few times, but I'm sure I haven't been to all these neighborhoods they're referencing in the song. I really, really, really like that stuff. On top of that, the instrumental is awesome. I don't really know what that is going on there. Is it a xylophone or is it something else? I don't know, but it sounds great. I'll tell you that. I think I just love the lyrics on there, like the hustle and bustle and just all that. I think Pharoah Monch is just really good at putting words together, and his flow has always been great. Then you get Prince Poe mentioning some of the subsections of South Side, where he's mentioning the other neighborhoods. So I think that's also cool, because when I do travel, because I've been in New York a handful of times, when I do travel and then I'll hear references like, oh, Organized Confusion mentioned this neighborhood, oh, Notorious B.I.G. mentioned this in Brooklyn, and just all these things, I'm like, oh, okay, well then, I'm kind of like piecing it all together. So it's very cool how music and things do that. Rough Side of Town is definitely one of the ones that whenever I see it come up, I'm very excited to hear it. The beat, the execution, the concept, just everything about it, kind of painting a picture of those neighborhoods in New York in the early 90s for me. So that's my last pick.
Rough Side of Town is also my last pick because of everything Amir was saying, and I want to focus on the beat in particular and the chorus. The chorus had this type of energy, I think, that we don't get as much, or it's just different than a lot of the rest of the Organized Confusion album, which I really appreciated, because the album is so brilliant and takes you on all these different stylistical journeys, but Rough Side of Town is just, the chorus is different, and it's not reflective of the title of the song, which is always intriguing to me. But I just think that the energy that the chorus has and how it's so different really makes it stand out. And then lyrically, they do a great job of painting these pictures of what's going on in the streets, which I think are good, and the different types of cars and the colors and all this stuff is really awesome. But then the beat is probably, if not my favorite, Fudge Pudge might be my favorite beat, I'm not sure, or this one. So Rough Side of Town just has that perfect, to me, a great chorus, great music, and then great lyrics that really are telling a story and breaking down, you know, the highs and the lows and what's going on in the streets. And for all those reasons, man, I just think this song is excellent. So that's my third pick. You guys got my 3 picks. You guys got Amir's. Please hit us in the comment section. As always, thank you for joining the live chat if you're here for us with that. And then also, as always, please subscribe to Unique Access, support us, like our content, share it, tell your friends. If you've already subscribed, please make sure to get at least 1 or 2 of your friends to subscribe to Unique Access too, so we can keep coming to you guys with great debaters and with as many interviews and other things that I do as possible. So those are my 3. Hit us up. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
Great debaters, y'all. Thank you, Pharoah Monch, Prince Poe, for this one, man. Organized Confusion.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for
just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Your MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The history of gangster rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The history of gangster rap in stores now.